supervising the nights and curing their boo-boos when they scrape their knees. Now just imagine how they must feel when the CPS meant to protect them tears them away from their supposed abusers and places them with strangers who have zero comforting skills. They need to be calmed. They are confused, lost, panicked, and needing their parents, but CPS took them away for the purpose of saving them. The kids don't even know why, and they are told that the parents they attach to no longer want them. What do you think that does? Do you think that this is how protecting children is supposed to look? Abolish CPS.
Psalm 127:3. Children are a heritage from the Lord, offspring a reward from Him. This suggests children are a precious gift from God to be valued and cared for.
In the United States, a child a minute is taken into DHS, CPS, and so on custody. The reality is their picks are already selected, you just don't know it. Being perfect no longer matters. It's what the adopting families are looking for.
Who is it stealing the children, you ask?
From caseworker to the White House, the buck stops at all levels, just not where it is supposed to be. The services your family needs, we the people have paid for to ensure your reunification. Title IV says, reunify at all costs. United, we stand means nothing to us when it comes to family values. Children are being ripped away from their families. Parents are reverting to addictive behaviors to cover the pain. The trauma caused by child removal is just being recognized, and the results are atrocious. Termination of parental rights is not healthy for anyone, just profitable for the people enforcing the line.
It's time Washington listens to the cries of our children, the wails of their mothers, and the rage growing in the fathers. These are our children. Keep your damn hands off them. We are coming to act on the behalf of the children God gave us to protect, and you kidnapped.
Young, inexperienced caseworkers and polluted with bribes, high-priced bonuses for speedy adoption of terminated parents, and judges who don't practice law with the Constitution in their sights. This is a problem.
They take away the fathers, leaving just a mom and cubs. They know that with dad out the way, the better things will go. Breaking apart the family, destroying the American way. Our legacy is built upon our families of yesterday. Fuck CPS, fuck CPS, fuck what they doing. Fuck CPS. Fuck CPS, they need to be ruined. It's all about the division of family services. You hear that the division, that's what they about. They prey upon the family, the ones that the dad's been kicked out. We can't stand for this abomination. This is the song that needs to play across our once great nation, making us aware of the problem. Stealing our kids, it's not mama drama. Stand up for those who are lost to them. We need to fight for the family, making America great again. CPS comes along with the mission to protect. The only thing they are doing is cashing in those checks, paid for by the souls of the children, diagnosed by a caseworker who is still a baby herself. They take away the fathers, leaving just the mom and cubs. They know that with dad out the way, the better things will go. Breaking apart the family, destroying the American way. Our legacy is built upon our families of yesterday. Fuck CPS, fuck CPS, fuck what they doing. Fuck CPS, they need to be ruined. It's all about the division of family services. You hear that the division, that's what they about. They prey upon the family, the ones that the dad's been kicked out. We can't stand for this abomination. This is the song that needs to play across our once great nation, making us aware of the problem. Stealing our kids, it's not mama drama. Stand up for those who are lost to them. We need to fight for the family, making America great again.
Good evening, everybody. Good evening, good evening.
All right. Vinny, do you want to come in? Is that what you were? I just made it in the brink of an eye. Do we have me here? All right, everybody. Welcome to CPS Victims Hunting Justice. Tonight, we have a great night because we have hunted justice. We have seeked justice. And the way it sounds is that we got justice. So without being any more further said, let's see what Vinny's got to say here. Vinny,
Hey.
the floor is yours, my friend. Let me get you down here. Hey, don't forget to like, do all that good stuff. Like, share, tap, hit the bell. Anything that you guys can do to make it so that we get more well known. Put the algorithm up. Do what you guys got to do. Please just do it. I mean, it's a big deal to do that stuff. So every time you're in here, like, share, do everything that you can to get up there. And we have chats right here off to the side. Boom, right here. Boom. But Vinny, go ahead. Tell everybody what you found out today.
All right, everybody. So I had my Jeopardy hearing today, which we got there early. I met with my attorney, shared some information with him that he didn't have and didn't see. So we get into the courtroom, and the judge came in. They asked who I was and who my wife was and whoever what else was. So in the courtroom, we had myself, my attorney, the guardian ad litem, the judge, the AAG, our caseworker, and the old caseworker, and then my daughter's placement for Arasta. He was in the meeting as well. So they looked over the order that was presented before them that me and my lawyer came up with, and had it cleared by DHS and the guardian ad litem and the AAG. They agreed upon everything that we said. So my daughter, my youngest daughter, is going to be being placed with my sister in Waterboro. They agreed to have my juvenile case taken and stricken from the record. They had the text message that they supposedly said were real stricken from the record because they are fake. And I go back in 4 months for my next hearing, which in that time, they have to do all of what is on this order. Move Arasta, allow visitations. My bail is being amended, so they're working on that now too. And what else? My wife has a new lawyer. She is she works for the ACLU. She's a civil rights attorney, and a whole bunch of other stuff that's added to it. So that was like big news for us here today. I'm ecstatic about the outcome of the hearing. And next, we're going to be filing motion after motion after motion until CPS realizes we're not playing games with them.
Oh, yeah, that's right. That's right, dude. That's right. That is absolutely right. So you beat they ass today.
I beat that ass across the courtroom, and neither the old caseworker would not speak to me once. He would not look at me, because when I served them under color of law, I did find this out today. When I served them under color of law, Brittany was right. When you serve them under color of law, it automatically is a cease and desist order.
Nice. Nice.
They cannot speak to you, and they cannot do anything. And they cannot force reunification with me, with them, because I have no contract with them.
So this is what I was wondering when you said that to me. Why are they involved? Why do you not have your child? That doesn't make
They
sense.
are involved because of
Mama. But that means
because Mama signed the reunification,
right?
And she also signed the safety plan that we can't read, which they're looking into. But we also found out through. So I want to make this clear because I saw Debbie's post about this. Debbie, I'm going to tell you right now that they need a warrant and they need the PPO in hand before they can take your kids, or it is legally kidnapping.
Nice. Very nice.
So they're investigating that, and if they find out that that's what they did without a search warrant and without the PPO in hand,
Wait, they have to have
they're
a search
going to
warrant
attack
and a
them.
PPO?
Right, it has to have both.
So they have to have an actual search warrant and a preliminary protection order.
Yep.
And if they do not have one piece of that, then it is considered kidnapping.
Yeah. And they have to show it to you when you ask.
Wow. Damn. I mean, I knew that they had to have that. I knew that they had to have the search warrant, and I knew that. But I always, there was always a confusion of what actually is the warrant. What are they supposed to have? And I assumed that the preliminary protection order covered that, but obviously not. You're saying that they said today at court that the PPO needs to be, which they didn't have a search warrant in my case. So maybe I'll be able to use that in the fight that I continue on with.
Yep, I definitely would, and I would definitely look at other aspects of that, Darren, because it seems the tides are starting to change a bit in these courtrooms.
Well, I mean, they're starting to realize that we are. Here's Herbert. Herbert's here in the house, buddy. Herbert, you're here.
I'm here. I'm listening to everything.
All right.
Congratulations, Vinny.
Thank you, man.
So what they're realizing is that we're all starting to, because of, I don't mean to shoot our horn or anything, but because of shows like ours and others that are out there, Wicked Warriors and some other people, we're starting to be educated about this stuff. They're not able to hide behind the law like they used to be. They don't think they're starting to realize that we are paying attention, and they're starting to realize that we are the people. That's part of it here. We're waking up. We're spending time, we're devoting time to this subject, and we're trying to educate others so that they don't have to go through this. And Vinny, you just kind of paved the way for a lot of people. Especially here for the state of Maine. We need to look, people in the state of Maine, if you got a PPO but no search warrant, and he says it's no good, let's look into that. But I think that Vinny's probably well in tune to it, since he was just in the courtroom and hearing a judge say that.
Yeah, and I'm gonna get this out there to you guys. In Maine, if you guys are looking for attorneys that are gonna fight for you, you want the private attorneys that are LLCs, like mine. His name is Richard Pittman, out of Pittman Law, and he's out of Brunswick, Maine. Or you want, what is your attorney's name? She's not taking any new clients right now, but her name is Allison Kuhn. She's an LLC out of Portland.
Now, do you tell your lawyer, does your lawyer watch the show, Vinny?
I don't know, but I did tell him today that I am on the show. So I told him what the show was. So he might.
Well, that's awesome. That's freaking awesome. I hope he does. I hope he checks in and see.
Well, I wanted to put that out there because, Terry made a good point to me on the phone today. Maybe we can help these attorneys that are doing their jobs and are trying to fight CPS actually get some cases and make back the money that they're losing working for these people.
Yeah, whatever. Benny, you just doing what you do and advocating, my friend, is a lot. Heck, yeah, go ahead. That's very cool of you to give kudos to the lawyers, but just the information and the knowledge that you're holding on to and that you have is worth its weight in gold too. So don't sell yourself short for what you're sharing and what you're giving to people, bud.
Debbie, here's the thing about that. They can not like you having TikTok or any social media, but they cannot use it in the court against you. That is restricted out of the courtroom. They cannot bring up your TikTok They cannot use your TikTok against you. They tried to do it in my case today. It was on there that they had information from TikTok and they had information and screenshots, and my attorney laughed at it.
Yeah, why not, right?
They cannot use that against you because that is your freedom of speech.
Wow, that's freaking awesome, Vinny. That is so. Yeah, I know. My wife in the background says, "Wow, Darren, that did not work in your way." Well, you know what?
No, it didn't. It did not go in their favor. Like, I have the new order in my hand. I was handed it today, and yeah. Actually, let me grab it and I'll read to you what it states. Grab it real quick.
Brenda, you said Chris meeting CPS victims in jail, but then you also said, "Why is Chris in jail?" I'm kind of not following that here. Maybe if you want to get a little clarification with that here. I don't know what that's. All right, so I don't know if they're speaking up there, but Kristen Gill, as you do about pedo.
Yeah, I'm just looking up.
Brenda, are you talking about your?
I'm trying to find the most. Okay, right here. The under relatives, they had the relatives crossed off, and it said that there was no living relatives that she could be placed with. Well, we fought that today, and now it states on the relatives, the following relatives have been identified, and the department shall explore whether the relative might be willing and able to serve as a permanent placement for the children. Parental aunt Luann Bryce as placement for Arasta.
That's freaking awesome.
And then, yeah, here it is. They put this in there, and I found it funny. It says, for the past 10 months, Mr. Torrey has refused to engage with the department, refusing to engage in services outlined in his preliminary reunification plan, has revoked all releases to his providers. This refusal to comply with treatment constitutes an aggravated factor defined by 22 MRS 4002. Well, we argued that, and they agreed that I never signed the reunification plan, so therefore I didn't have to answer to them and do what they wanted. So if you sign their little plan, guys, it counts against you because then you're signing their contract. If you don't sign their contract and you do not do what they want you to do, you have a better chance in the courtroom to get your kids back because you're not abiding by their laws and their policies and procedures, which they are going against because they are taking my oldest daughter, Trinity, and alienating me from her mother from her, and my daughter, my youngest, from me. And that's what they've been doing this whole entire time. I was originally supposed to have visits from the start, and they've been alienating me since. So for Herbert, there's your proof, Herbert, because it was outlined today in the courtroom that there is alienation and there is coercion by CPS. That's a good question, Debbie. I can ask that from my attorney about that, but if they go past the 120 days of the jeopardy hearing without anything, you can have the case dismissed on them grounds.
Herbert,
They have to hold the jeopardy hearing within 120 days.
But why am I muted? Why did you mute my mic if you want me to respond back? I'm trying to respond back. I was trying to respond back to what Vinny was saying. Can you hear me?
Yeah, so
Yep.
respond.
Okay. Vinny, you have to go back to what you were saying. You said it's very true in a courtroom. What were you saying?
And in the courtroom, they found that they are parental alienating my kids from me. And that they also found that they're using coercion by meeting with my oldest daughter, who is 14, privately without the foster parents present.
Ah, okay. Okay, that's not right.
Violating their own policies and procedures.
Yes, that's not right.
That's how they get
I
away with
didn't have any.
it. They do it under secrecy.
Yeah, I
They do
didn't
it
have
under
any dispute. I didn't have any dispute about that because I was not aware of that. So you're enlightening me that the courts were talking to your daughter unbeknownst to you.
No, it was CPS that was.
CPS
They were talking to my daughter without the foster parent present or the
Okay.
guardian ad litem, who is supposed to be present in all meetings.
Okay. That makes a lot of sense.
Someone's got to be responsible for that child.
So yeah, it was a win-win day for me in court today.
Damn right. God damn right.
That's very good. Congratulations, Vinny.
Thank you. So parents out there listening to the show tonight, do not give up hope. Do not give up trying. In order to succeed, you have to keep fighting with everything you have.
Yeah. You could go back 140 episodes in this thing, and the number one thing that's always been preached on this show is do not sign that safety plan. That's the number one thing that's always been preached. Do not sign the safety plan, because once you do that, you have contracted with them, and it's game over. Everything else, if you can skate by that, you have not even skate by it. Just don't freaking do it. Period. They can't force you to do it. It's a voluntary service, and that's that. And people need to start. Look at Benny. Listened. Benny understood. Benny didn't do it. And look at this. It freed him up in this courtroom, so they couldn't hold him to anything. He had no contract with Child Protective Services. Therefore, he didn't have to be forced to do anything with Child Protective Services.
We were there 10 minutes and then it was over.
Right. And think about it. This was a slam dunk. Keep easy. Take his kids away. 15 months ago. Not so easy now. Not so easy,
Nope.
is it?
Nope, because now they're realizing that I'm playing hardball, and I have two
You're not
attorneys
even
that are
playing
back.
hardball, dude. You're playing by the way it's supposed to be played. You're playing by your rights as a citizen of the United States of America and a citizen of Maine. They don't have the right to steal your goddamn kids, period.
No, they do not.
So,
And by the way, I
think
did
that's where
hear-
we're
I
gonna
did-
judge.
I did share this to the main Families Forever group that I'm a part of, so they did post it live into their group. So
Oh, good. Now, were you able to do what you were going to set out to do today in there?
I did. I mean, as far as everything that happened, I didn't even have to record, and I could have, because they weren't even paying attention to that. Really, they didn't care.
But they schooled the CPS people. Was the judge harsh on them at all?
No, the judge, he signed this order and looked at us and said, "We're all set. You guys are free to go."
Oh, that's good. That's real good, Vinny. That is real good. You know what? Good for you, man. I almost feel like we should end the show just on that, where it's all good.
But it is this one is the jeopardy order and judicial review and permanency planning order. So they have to follow through with their steps now. And if they don't, they'll be under scrutiny.
Yeah, they're under the watchful eye right now. Not them, not anybody else.
It's them, not me. I'm not under their watchful eye. On this paperwork, it doesn't even say my bail condition, which is even more funny. It does not list my bail conditions on this jeopardy order.
No, I'm going to see if we can't bring Josie in here. I'm going to see if Josie's paying attention and see if we can't bring Josie in. You know what? Because Josie's going to love to hear this.
Oh, we got Ashley with us too.
Yeah, where is Ashley?
She's right there in the box, I think.
Ashley, you're in the box. Get Ashley out of the box.
There
Am
we
I
go.
in the box still?
Ashley's out of the box.
Who do you think you were talking to when I said that about the bonding study?
Bonding studies. Jesus, Ashley.
No, bonding. They had the court order a bonding study.
Yeah. You know, and here's the thing too. They order these bonding studies. It's scientifically proven that you will never ever genetically break a bond between a child and their parents.
No.
It can't happen. You will always have a bond with your child no matter what.
Yes, sir.
So, but yeah, you're absolutely right. All I see over here is cha-ching, 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 cha-ching.
Yeah.
Cash register now. I mean, obviously get the kids home first. But let's don't put the carriage before the horse. But I think this horse is about ready to roll over and die.
All right.
To be honest, so you got them running now, and that's freaking great. What's going on with you, Ash? Anything good?
Well, I just found out other information. I don't know if it's good, but it's more information. I found out today that every state that gets Title B funding or Title E funding, when they hit their numbers, like if they say they adopted out 20,000 children last year, if they go over those numbers this year, they get double the price for the child. So they'll get twice
I saw the same thing actually.
So they're being they're incentivizing them for taking more children.
Yeah. More adoption now.
Perfect.
They're doing that in Maine too.
If that's not paying for more, some will say, "Oh, this is great. We're trying." So wait, they can't even find enough foster placement for these people without getting them sexually abused, physically abused, mentally abused, even to have a bed for them. All of this. But let's hurry up and adopt these kids out into these families for permanency that they're not even welcome in or loved in or anything. So let's hurry up and get them out there in that too. Great thinking, CPS. Way to look out for our kids.
Darren,
like
you should play the news, the WABI thing I sent you today, just a couple minutes ago, on here, so they can hear what's going on there too.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Let's pull that up. Want to give everybody a little what this is about thing?
Well, it's the Maine is being gone after by the Disability Act.
ADA, baby. Oh, Vinny, can you send that to the 6982 number? Can you re-forward that to me?
You know that a lot of us. Sorry, go ahead.
Oh no, go ahead, Ash. You're fine.
That a lot of the people. What was I going to say now? Oh, that a lot of the people that have are saying that they have substance abuse. That's why they can't have their children. That is considered a disability in a lot of states. So you can use ADA as well as an argument in appeals court.
So the ADA supports opiate. So the ADA supports opiate addiction as a disability, and the only stipulation is that you are not currently using street drugs. You can still be on opiates, painkillers, or whatever. As long as you're not doing street drugs, they will back you 1,000%, and it is a disability. You're absolutely right.
Opiate dependency.
There you
So-
go. I sent it to you.
All right, I'll play that one here. Here, where are we? Let's share the wealth with everybody, Vinny.
Yep.
And in other news this morning, Maine is being sued by the Justice Department for violating the Americans with Disabilities Act.
The DOJ claims the state segregated children with behavioral health disabilities in hospitals, residential facilities, and state-operated Long Creek Youth Development Center in South Portland. Now, the lawsuit alleges the state's system limits these services in the community.
Now, in June of 2022, the federal department notified Maine of civil rights violations in a letter that states in part, the state of Maine has an obligation to protect its residents, including children with behavioral health disabilities, and such children should not be confined to facilities away from their families and community resources. They say Maine must.
Hold on a minute. You read that right there? Read that, Vinny. Read the last two sentences where it says "be confined."
Yep.
Read that out loud.
I'm trying to see it.
Oh, it says be confined. Children should not be confined to facilities away from their families and community resources. Children should not be confined to facilities away from their families and community resources.
To make these services available.
The letter also states they are committed to ensuring people with disabilities can get the services they need to remain at home with their families and loved ones.
To remain at home with their family and loved ones.
That's right. Again, that's right.
In their communities.
There's so many reasons to care about this, but I tend to just look at the child, and it's the child's legal right not to be unnecessarily institutionalized, and that's what this case is about.
Maine DHHS responded to the lawsuit. In a statement to our media partner WMTW, a services spokesperson says in part, the state of Maine agrees with the Department of Justice that Maine, like every state, has an obligation to protect children with behavioral health disabilities.
It goes on to say we are deeply disappointed that the U.S. DOJ has decided to sue the state rather than continue our collaborative good faith effort to strengthen the delivery of children's behavioral health services.
They've had this for
The
years.
state of Maine will vigorously defend itself, and throughout the litigation will continue to work hard to strengthen the delivery of what we all agree are vital services.
Yeah. So there you go. That's what's going on here. It's ridiculous. The state of Maine is just out of control. But I'm sure every state is just like this and just as bad. Yep. Oh, look at this. Yeah, that's what I was just going to put up. Danielle, yeah, we should get Danielle. Do you want to come on and talk about that?
I can drop the link for it.
Yeah, drop the link.
Did you get my messages earlier? I know that we shouldn't bring this up again, but it has to do with CPS as well. The Georgia high school shooting, his family was involved with CPS. His, I think it was 2022. CPS came involved in their lives because the mother got involved with some fraudulent things, allegedly. And CPS came in and just ripped the family apart. They had $1 million farm. They had to sell their farm. The family's completely broken up. The mom's not allowed to see the kids, and 2 of the kids are not allowed to be with the dad. So there's 3 kids in total. And yeah.
So what one do you think, Herbert, puts more pressure on the kid? Them calling him gay? Or the fact that he's been thrown away from his family?
It's not happening. It's insulting to the women of America.
I think taken away from the family.
Absolutely. Absolutely. But they're going to hide it behind this media
everything.
and say that, it's because they were going to bully him and saying that he was gay and this and that. Nothing to do with it. It was CPS causing more problems. Probably you'll find out that those teachers are the ones that reported him, the ones that he shot. Because most of these things don't go without actual victims that they were targeting, especially if they planned it out like that. Wow.
Yeah, I don't think the shooter was shooting randomly. I think that he knew what his targets were. I'm sure that unfortunately some of the kids were in the way, and he took them out. But he probably knew what his target was.
Now, I want to bring up one thing for Herbert too. That thing that you sent me earlier about the kid in the septic tank. What the hell, dude? Because how does a kid fall into a septic tank without his parents paying attention to that septic tank or knowing the problem?
Well, that would mean the cover should have been in the tank.
That's right. That's a good question. That's a good question. So I'm glad you brought that up. I sent it to you also, Darren.
Yeah, I got it. My question is
apparently the parents did not properly secure the opening to that septic tank, and therefore, the parents again. The parents is at blame because they didn't secure the cover to the septic tank.
Sure.
But then I sent that to you to say, I don't know if there's other kids in the family, but if there are other kids, what would CPS, to your estimation, be involved in taking those kids or leaving those kids alone? Or how do you think that would go down?
No, I think they would take them kids too because the kid died.
They did that, man. If the workers, now it's different. If the people that came there and worked on the septic tank left the septic tank open, would it be the parents' responsibility then? I say no. But the parents.
No, I agree with you.
The parents did.
I agree with you, but there's nothing in that article that says that the septic tank was being worked on.
Right. So
it sounds like it's been like that. That septic tank has been like that, and that child wandered off in that location and was engaged and fell into the septic tank.
Do you remember years ago when baby Jessica fell in the well? I think it was in Texas.
Yes.
Yeah.
Now, who did they call? Who was that blamed for that one? Do you remember?
I don't remember the case that well.
All I remember is saying, how the hell did how did a person fall into that little well hole? Was honestly what I was thinking. But I think that was a lead point too, in them showing what America's reaction would be to what children that Elian Gonzalez being removed from the home with guns and by the military, removed from his family. All of these things were propaganda to see how the Americans would react, of how it would be if CPS came and took their kids and what anybody would say. The only thing people did there was cry and yell. They were so happy that baby Jessica came out. No one did a damn thing when Elian Gonzalez got ripped away from his family and his family was deported and all that, and he was put on the cover of Time magazine. They got the okay from America because America did nothing. You know, we did this, people, by not reacting properly. And they're still doing it. We're still doing it by not reacting properly. You know, that's the big thing. We got a presidential debate getting ready to kick off, or maybe it's kicked off. I don't know. But
it's kicked off. It already kicked off. The president's debate is already kicked off.
Are they talking about Child Protective Services?
No.
I bet you that's not even the question. I bet that's not even one of the questions with the moderators. Because
so far, no.
The moderators are the ones that choose the questions. So you can't blame the candidates for that. But
no,
the bottom dollar, that doesn't get brought up. But, however, what will be brought up, mark my words, is the 85,000 kids that immigration has lost. 85,000 have come across the border that they've lost into wherever they've gone. That will be brought up. Mark my words.
Oh, yeah, that's been brought up. They talked about the jobs that's being taken up in Colorado and Aurora and other places. All that stuff is being. I'm reading it. I'm reading the narrative of it as it's being played, and that's already been brought up already.
Right. So that just shows they don't give two shits about what's going on in this country and about the parents that are in this country that are getting their rights ripped away from them at an average of a child a minute. They don't care. Nobody cares.
No.
we're going to be
Nope.
concerned about the 85,000 immigrants that came across the border, and they're disappeared, and DHHS now needs to answer for that. But not that 500,000 kids that get taken in the United States every year.
No talk about that.
Right. So where's the problem? Americans aren't making any noise about this. That's the problem.
No noise whatsoever.
No.
And we need to. We need to stand up for our rights. We need to stand up for our constitution in every state. Because every state has a constitution.
Oh, I got a great song.
And you can insert them laws, as Carrie helped me do.
Yeah,
and Carrie, I very much appreciate your help.
Well, we need to stop being reactive to and be proactive to educate people to it, so that way it comes out to light. Because what you're doing, Vinny, and what you're doing, Darren, is you're being reactive to what happened. There are people in my neighborhood that don't know anything about CPS. They need to know about it. They need to know it exists and how it can affect them before they become on the radar. Because once they get on the radar, they're going to be complaining also about why were their children taken.
Go take one of those kids out of your neighborhood. I bet that whole neighborhood rallies around it.
If you take one of the kids out of the neighborhood, they too will be on a reactive bandwagon, reacting to it. But nobody's being proactive to look into it.
Nobody's being proactive. The American people need to stand up and say that this isn't right. What's happening?
That's being proactive.
The only thing that we have is a bunch of people that are already victims that everybody says is crybaby victims, and they must have been some awful people. That's what we've got. What we need is parents that have not been touched by CPS, not involved, saying that this is wrong, and to show their support for this cause.
Yes, that's right. That's the reaction. There's some point in time you didn't know a thing about CPS until you got involved in it, right, Darren?
Correct. Absolutely. Absolutely. No doubt about it. And if it hadn't happened, who knows? But I didn't have anybody bring it to my attention to say it was bad.
No. So we need that. We need a campaign like that where it's brought out what CPS is, what they do, and what can happen to you and your children. If a child falls down a septic tank, a child drowns in a swimming pool, a child is out in 110 degree temperature and dies because of dehydration. I think I sent you guys another one about a child in a car. Did you get that one, Vinny? Vinny? Did you get the article I sent you about a child in the car? Do you remember what that was about?
Mother right next door. Yep.
Wasn't it 130 degree temperature in the vehicle?
Yeah.
The child was forgotten. No, the child was forgotten in the car.
Oh, yeah.
Actually, if you look at that article, the babysitter or whatever forgot the child in the car, and the temperatures inside the vehicle reached 130 degrees.
Now, how do you forget a babysitter, baby in the car? Back it up, baby. Back it up. See, Herbert, you say we get reactive, but how long have I been running Pack It Up?
You've been running Pack It Up for a while.
We're proactive, man. We are proactive and reactive all in one. We're preactive.
Yeah. Yeah. But I'm just saying, I'm reading about this stuff all the time. You know, it's just people that they're just not conscious of the consequences.
Well, it's not only that, Herbert. It's some of these families are scared to go up against and to challenge CPS and challenge these AAGs and these guardian ad litems because they're running scared because they're making threats at their lives and everything else. You can't let these people take control of your lives. You need to hold your ground and fight them. And that's what I'm doing. I'm holding my ground. I have not given up whatsoever.
Mm-hmm. No, you have not. Nope, you have not, Vinny.
I don't know about you.
Oh, go ahead.
Go ahead, sorry. I don't know about you guys, your guys' state, but in California, when you go to your first hearing, it's just like, well, I don't know about now, but when COVID was around, it was just over the phone. You weren't allowed to go there. You weren't allowed to say anything. You were muted. You couldn't even get a word in because you didn't have control over the mute button. But when they initially get custody of a child, they tell you that you want to go to trial. And every parent is like, go to trial for what? What did I do? There's nothing wrong. And I don't know if everybody else does as well, but I didn't want to go to trial. I didn't do anything. There's no reason. Please put your investigation forward, not knowing that if they said go to trial, that would have ended their jurisdiction and I would have had my child back within that 30, 60 days.
Right. 72-hour hearing, people. The most important thing you can do is go to that 72-hour hearing and fight your ass off right there. Don't let them say that you don't want to go there because it's this. You need to go to that 72-hour hearing. It's very important. It's very, very important because that's where they claim jurisdiction. And you need to have the chance to say, you go, got it. You don't have it. That just proves that our lawyers fight for the courts and not us, right, Ashley? That's just what this does. It just proves that.
Oh, to get even worse, I had a document that my fiance had found at the time. I was still in the hospital with my child right after she was born, and they had, of course, taken custody, but I was not leaving the hospital without her. So I was like, nope, you're not letting her leave. I'm not leaving either. So I stayed an extra 2 days, and they made them pay the bill. But while I was there, he was online at home and looking at things and trying to figure something out as quick as possible. And he found a document. I believe it was Vincent W. Davis's document, actually. The first document you're supposed to sign, that you sign in there and that will stop them instantly from getting your kids back. And we didn't know anything about filing and any proper procedures that you have to do that all in. He just went and got a whole bunch of copies. We went and got it notarized, and he went and dropped it off at the social service office. And then that was, I just cease and desist, leave me alone. You guys don't have any jurisdiction. And I didn't know how the document, I didn't get time to read through the document. I didn't trust it like I should have. And when I went to court, the lawyers brought it up and she was like, yeah, we're just going to go ahead and put that one aside and we're not even going to file it. It wasn't even filed properly anyways. And I let my lawyer take that document off record. And if I didn't do that,
would have saved you?
Yes. Yeah. I believe it would have saved everything and I wouldn't be in this at all right now. But because I didn't know my rights and I didn't know what this all was about and how this whole thing was ran, I backed down on my gut feeling and my worst nightmare came true.
Wow, that sucks, Ash. I'm sorry to hear that. I really am. That's terrible. That's just
Darren, you want me to let Brenda in? Because I think she just showed up on the thing.
Yeah, we can let Brenda in for a minute if she's got something to say. Sure.
Brenda,
every day. Yeah, I was just thinking about what she was just talking about, that if she would have known and maybe this wouldn't have happened. The strange thing that I didn't find out until, my kids were taken in 2016. In 2019, I found that my daughter was being abused in foster placement. And then
Brenda, you're gurgling up.
Shit, maybe I can take stuff here. Hold on. But because of the discoveries that I got from the other county from trying to rescue my daughter, I found out in those discoveries that they omitted it was a neuropsychological evaluation that was done a month before a TPR trial. In that evaluation, it said that my daughter, since she has delays, she needs to be in contact with me for her social, behavioral, and emotional well-being. And this lady's name, this neuropsychologist, was never mentioned at the trial. I never came, never saw the report. I never would have seen the report unless I was arrested those many years later. But still, I thought that was to get my kids back at that time. I was contacting the Supreme Court. I was, everything. Contacting everybody about the report, but it didn't seem to matter. I was sitting in jail at the time, and there's really not a lot I could do.
Trust your instincts, people. You know, if you think
Well,
that
to answer to Brenda on that, my daughter was supposed to have a neuropsych back in May,
And I let them know.
and we let CPS know. Well, they failed to get her to this appointment, so she didn't get to have her neuropsych done. That is neglect on CPS's head because they neglected to get her to the appointment.
Well, you know what was strange about it? Because the whole thing was strange about mine. During the time, the lady, my caseworker said, "Oh, we're not going to take her to the neuropsychologist. She's just going to get an evaluation from the family doctor." And so she lied completely because me and my son were trying to set up appointments with a neuropsychologist, and they kept canceling the appointments when we made them.
right, sidelining you. Were they going to accept your doctor? Did they say they would accept your doctor, or were they against that?
At the time, they were saying, "Oh, well, we can't send her to that appointment because we don't have her medical records." And I'm like, that was complete bullshit. They had her medical records.
Yeah.
And in fact, she already had been evaluated that said that she had the very problem that they later on, they think they discovered it later. No, if they looked at the medical records, we had already had her evaluated by a neuropsychologist before this. So it was like unbelievable. And that they just wanted to not say that she had delays because any child with a delay is supposed to be appointed an attorney. Okay. And they kept putting that off so that she wouldn't be appointed an attorney.
Wow.
And it wasn't until the very end that she finally was appointed. She did get a good attorney, even though it was like somebody from the state. But she was very good. But I'm telling you, it was too late by that time. It was much too late.
That's so awful. There should never be too late when it comes to this. These are our children.
No,
when you're on death row, you've got all the time in the world to appeal your decisions, to do all of that stuff. But how come when it comes to TPR, everything becomes so permanent so quick? They're so quick to permanently destroy your ties with your child. You know, why? Why is that? But yet we won't put someone to death that murdered 7 to 10 people.
And that's the thing. And then the parents and the whole family's got to go through these birthdays. Like today is Sage. She just turned 21 today. And every holiday is just like, it's so depressing because, it's nothing to celebrate when you don't have your family with you.
Right. And if they were, and I said this in that interview the other day, and I mean no disrespect to anybody when I say this, but I'm just using this. If your child had passed away, at least you would be able to grieve. When your child's taken by CPS and moved away, you know your child is still out there. You know that there's this. So every holiday, everything, it's a reminder that they're out there somewhere, and you can't do anything about it. And it's just the most awful feeling in the entire world. To know that your kid's out there somewhere, but there's nothing you can do about it. If they were passed away, you might be able to go to the grave and, put flowers on it or toys or whatever. But with this, no, you can't. There's nothing that you can do to grieve as a parent that your child was taken from you.
Because you just don't know. You don't know what's going on. You have no idea.
No, it's a terrible, terrible, terrible thing. And
so I gotta read this, Darren. I'm gonna read this to you guys. Lynn just came across this. It was on KETV 7 ABC. Ex-Omaha cop convicted on child pornography charges, sentenced to nearly 40 years. The former officer tried to seek leniency in his sentence, citing PTSD from incidents like the Von Mar shooting.
PTSD caused you to have child pornography?
Christopher Groth.
It's the most ridiculous thing I've ever heard.
PTSD makes you a pedophile.
Right. Wow. Jesus Almighty. Can we get any more ludicrous about stuff? This is just getting out of control.
Yeah.
Absolutely out of control. We're unbelievable. This is what happens when everybody gets a trophy.
I'm sorry, but no other place in the world will I be crying once a bit and then laughing my behind off the sticks.
Right?
The highest position in the land can be
Yep,
taken by
they
a
did.
felon. All positions.
They did wait until he was sentenced to do it, Carrie. Which I'm looking into. It is being investigated into. My attorney said he is looking into all aspects. The warrant, the PPO, and the fact that they posted me out to the public without even having any charges filed.
Jess, did you hear that? What he just said? I don't know if you guys were watching from the beginning or not, but what Vinny just said is make sure you dig out your paperwork that talks about the PPO when they came and got your kid. Make sure that they had a warrant as well as the PPO for that when they came and got your kids, because otherwise they straight up kidnapped them, Vinny says.
Well,
Yeah, they must
I would
have
fall
both
into
been
that
doing.
category because, like I say, we were arrested. My husband framed. They went to the house. They threatened the kids to open the door. They're going to bust it down. And my kids didn't want to open the door for an hour. They tried to talk them into opening the door. And so there was no warrant. They went through all our stuff. They went through my legal mail. They went through my notebooks, everything. But for some God reason, they couldn't find the number to my son to give him a call and say, "Come get your
Yeah,
brother and sister."
of
You
course,
know.
right. But they can find everything else that you had in your house.
So they say, "Oh,
What
we
the
had
hell were they
cryptic
going through all your
writing
stuff
in
for
here."
anyway?
They said we had cryptic writing in my notebooks.
Oh, yeah.
And they just want to set up that scenario that you are some type of mass shooter or something, because that's what they say about all these mass shooters and stuff. Oh, they had cryptic writing, they did this and that. They just want to set up a scenario to make you look like the bad guy.
Yep, it's
So if
crazy.
they never did any of that, Jess, with you can get them for that. And you need to find an attorney that's willing, like mine, who is Richard Chipman Law, out of Brunswick, Maine, Cook's Corner, Brunswick, Maine. He found this information, and he did it by digging. He's been everything I sent him, emails, texts, everything that I've had since the beginning of my case. I kept their emails, I kept their text messages, I kept everything. And then when I got all my discovery in the criminal case, I used that and was showing that to him as well.
That's it, Vinny. You listened to the advice, man. Not that you didn't do things your own way too, but you would listen to people, you were watching the shows, you were doing stuff, you listened, you applied it, and it worked. And that's just proof that people need to pay attention, man. But here's the problem. You need to make sure that you still check out information that people give you, because it's not always the correct stuff.
You have to pay attention to what everyone.
Right. Absolutely.
And you have to listen to what everyone says to you and piece it together for yourself, and do your homework and your due diligence, like I have. I did my due diligence. I've been researching since the start of my case.
Yep. It's just all about educating yourself, man. It's all it is. We're not stupid people. Like, the information is out there for us to get. And, we're all trying to piece it together bit by bit for all of us, so that we can get this information so we can stop all this nonsense. But until then, just keep on doing what we got to do so that we can get by this stuff, For real. That's
There
just
you go, Jeff, right there. Put it in for you. Richard Chipman, LLC.
Just don't be silly and don't make us look bad when you're out there. Like, every time you go to bat and you say something and put yourself out in the public eye, make sure that you do it in a proper way, because you don't want to do stuff to make the movement look ridiculous either. That's the other thing. Don't make us look like kooks, people. So don't go out there being rancid and ineffectively cussing and calling names and everything. Do everything strategically and do it so that you don't look like a kook and you're not making us look like a
Yeah,
kook.
that was the one thing I just heard the other day. You don't put emotion, you put your emotions into it. Keep your emotions out of it.
Correct. Absolutely
So
correct.
I found out that case that I sent you guys about the girl with the teach, like she was teaching her kids homeschooling. She had 4 kids that were taken from CPS, and she was teaching them different languages and all the different animals and the birds. And she was apparently this like perfect family. Well, come to find out that was all a lie. Her kids were taken from her by CPS, but for horrific things. And she totally bamboozled a huge group of people and got a ton of money, and then just bounced and told pretty much everyone, yep, nope, what you're hearing now is true. I'm not getting my kids back. I don't want them back. And she went on like national television and did all these claims, and she looked the part. She played the part really well. Hell, she fooled me like no other. I mean, she brought me to tears when she was telling me all the stories that she was feeling and the emotions, and I was like, wow, I'm not the only one feeling these things. Rad. But yeah, so just don't, just do your research, people, and don't take advantage of other people, especially when they're having issues like this. This is not time for that.
Right. Don't take advantage. You got to realize that you are messing with hope and people's hearts, and you can't lead people down a dark road that is not going to be fulfilled to them. You know what I mean? Like, you can't do that to people. It's not right. It's not right to do that to anybody. You need to make sure that when you're telling people stuff, that it's true to what it says, and that way they can use it, not get excited about it. It turns out to be getting a false coupon, you can't do that to people. You just can't. It's not right to do morally, and it's just, all around, it's just wrong. So make sure you do your research so you're not let down again and again, and put all your eggs in one basket, and because you believe in someone, and bang, there it is. But Vinny proved today that what we're teaching, it works, right, Vinny?
Yes, it does.
So that's good stuff. Yeah. Well, guys, what do you think? What you thinking? I need about 2 more minutes for what I'm doing here because I'm doing need a new thing. So I don't know if we want to start the last words, maybe.
Yep.
Yep. Just make them a little bit longer than usual, please. So we'll start with you, Brenda. How about you? Brenda, to be you to start.
Oh Lord. I just want to say that, just if you think that it's over once your rights are terminated, it's not over, because the fight continues. I mean, I've been doing this for over 8 years, and I'm learning more in this past year and through the show and from many other people. I'm learning so much, and I think you just got to keep fighting the fight. And like you say, any opportunity that you see to get your information, just go for it. Just go for it. Anybody that's putting these filings in to your senators, congressmen, or wherever they're going, I think it's worth a shot, because it's better than nothing.
Absolutely. I agree. All right. Ashley, how about you?
Well, that's a lot you can always say at the end, but don't ever give up. Stand your ground. Don't let them in the door. Don't give them jurisdiction. If you shut up and don't talk to them, you can have your kids back within the first 90 to 60 days. That's going to really suck, but it's worth it. Better than 2.5, 3 years like I'm going on with my rights terminated. It sucks. But don't give up. Always fight, and for your family, always fight till the end.
Yep. I agree, 1,000%. Herbert.
People who are involved with situations right now with their children who have been taken away, should educate and tell other people who have children that are not part of the system. They should open up. Brenda, you should talk to people. Vinny, you should talk to people. Darren and Ashley, talk to people who have children that are not in CPS to let them know what your story is and what you're going through to help them avoid being a target of CPS.
Yeah, that's a good, you know what, maybe
I do it all the time. I do.
One thing I'm doing is I'm teaching my daughter about it, so she'll talk about it with her little friends at school, and they'll grow up to know what's really CPS is about and a know to avoid the whole situation and how to avoid them.
Yeah.
That's correct. Because as you can see, once you get into the CPS system, all you think about, eat about, smell, smoke about, and talk about is trying to get your child back. And people who don't understand that and don't experience that, they have no clue until you guys talk to people that don't know anything about CPS.
Right. Yeah, and once you're at that point, you're too late. You know, like you're way behind the
8 ball.
Yeah, you're way behind, and it's just not a good place to be at all. So yeah, that's some good advice, Herbert. Real good advice. Vinny.
Well, my last words are this: trust in your gut instinct. Do not give up. Fight for everything like you have nothing. And always remember that we can file an injunction against them with the clause of 241 and 242, violation under color of law, and it does stick. So keep fighting, parents. Do not give up. Use your knowledge of everything that we have and we're learning. Use your constitutional rights. Google everything. And do not let CPS in your house. You do not have to open that door to them.
Yep. No, you don't. Do not open that door. I want to say it's a special. I've been trying to finish this new thing, but today is Sage's birthday, right? 21 today, Brenda? She's the future.
Yeah, even though that's a picture of Chris, but his birthday's Halloween. Yes.
I have somewhere here. I guess it's too small for me to see. There's my kid. There's that one.
I don't think we ever made her a Punisher yet.
Well, we're going to make her one right now. That's what I've been trying to do. I'm going to end the show with this, but I will have her Punisher picture up before the end of this song. I made this new song today, and tonight really it kind of fits for this. So I'm going to end it with this song that I just made tonight. Let me see here. Where is it?
I appreciate y'all doing that too. I really do. It means a lot.
Oh, absolutely. Let's see. Where's the new song that we have? And if you guys want any of this music I make, just send me an email to CPSV. CPSV videos. The email's right there. CPSV Hunting Justice at Gmail, and we'll get you guys some of this music. But here's the newest music.
In 1776, brave men put up a fight, mowing down redcoats. They wanted freedom. They had to fight, and now we take the sacrifice in vain. They loaded their muskets, fired them one by one. That's why we have the freedom to own a gun, but we are blowing it. These freedoms were created by those before us. They were to be something that stays. But now things are so corrupted, they're taking our rights away. Hey, Uncle Sam, where did you go? I called Washington today, but nobody's home. We all want to stand for our freedom, but nobody wants to do it today. Can't you see time is a waste and the Constitution we love is fading? Make no tread on the reality, or the USA will be the next casualty. We are here for freedom, those we will protect. Unite for the values we cherish, or watch everything perish. Our men have fought for our freedoms, many women have too. Their blood spilled upon the ground, with the news many frown. They paid a price that many won't pay. Now we are letting the cause fade away. The graves are being neglected by the actions of so many deceptive. the freedoms they fought for in every world war, conflict, or mission. So many stayed behind, signing petitions, while those awake dying were there to protect them. It's time to wake up in the USA. We are all slipping away into the darkness we once ran from. It's getting worse every day. Now they are taking our children more and more every day. No soldier ever fought for taking our children away. This is not why they bled for our freedom. They didn't die for some cheap pay. We all need to come together, fight this corruption, and it starts today. We need to wake up America, go back to parades, remember true family values, laugh again as children play. These are the things we fought for, 200 years strong, but now we're losing all of this. Don't tread on me does exist. So rise up and be strong. We don't have to go along. We need to push back now, like our forefathers did. It's time to bring back the way it was, when families lived together, all that mattered was love. It's not always easy to take back what they have grabbed. With all of us together we can do it, two loving children and mom and dad. This is our country, it's called USA. So many have fallen, say don't tread on me today. In the USA, we are all slipping away into the darkness we once ran from. It's getting worse every day. Now they are country, it's called USA.